Hey guys, it's Avengel. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're taking a look at the second Mitsubishi Zero to hit Flight Sim 2020 and 2024. Although this one is admittedly coming just to 2024. Now, this is Blackbird Simulations A6M5 Zero. This aircraft is going to be a far higher fidelity simulation than we got from Aeroplane Heaven. Now, we know, I think a lot of people think these aren't going to be really comparisons, and I think that is fair to assess. But we're going to take this one as an individual review, and then we'll compare them at the end to decide which is which. Now, the Zero itself, as you may recall, is a long-range carrier-capable fighter formerly manufactured by Mitsubishi Aircraft Company as part of Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. It was operated by the Imperial Japanese Navy, the IJN, from 1940 to 45, and the A6M was designated as a Navy Type Zero carrier fighter. Now, 10,900 of these were produced during the war, and it's considered to be have been the most capable carrier-based fighter in the world when it was introduced. It was, of course, surpassed later in the war by the American fighters. But this aircraft, in terms of its capability for a M2, not an M5 that we're looking at here, is going to give you an indication of performance in this case rather than actual numbers for it. But I think we might actually have specific numbers on the 5. I can't find those right this second. But I'll give you indications for a 2. So it's in a ballpark. You're looking at a Nakajima NK1C Sake 12 14-cylinder air-cooled radial piston engine, putting out 940 horsepower at takeoff. And you can manage that at 13,000 feet as well. Performance ballpark for that is about 288 knots maximum. Cruise 180 with a range of around 1,000 nautical miles. Ferry range up to 1,700. So that's a slightly early model, but you get the impression of what we're looking for there. Now, this is from Blackbird, like I said. I cannot tell you the price right now because I'm recording this before it releases. I was not told the price. I will, however, put the price in a pinned comment in the video because it releases the day this video comes out. So you will see the price in the pinned comments. Now, from Blackbird, what does it say? Well, this is a recreation of the A6M5 Model 52 Zero. And they say they've tried not to produce an arcade version of the aircraft with fantastical performance, but one rooted in factual numbers and references. There are numerous historical nods in this, in that this does not come with radios in the aircraft because many of them did not. The Japanese radios were phenomenally unreliable, and in many cases only a squadron leader would actually have a radio. So it's actually authentic this one doesn't have it, and also the radios wouldn't have been much use in our modern setting. Now, obviously, different world to how it's going to work in real life, but it's rather cool to see what we see. We have an accurate flight model and engine systems with true-to-life fuel electrical modelling. Performance tuned to match historical references and published documents. Custom wear and failure simulation will show you that. Custom starting simulation to replicate the hand-cranked inertia starter. Authentic replication of controls and instrumentation unique to this aircraft. High detail model and textures. We've got 10 high-resolution liveries with authentic representation of wear and use, and they do look rather fantastic. Dynamic custom visual effects for engine smoke and exhaust. Custom drag calculations for external components, things like your drop tanks. Custom belly landing effects. We'll try that out, actually. Fuselage dirt that accumulates during ground operation. Custom gun sights. Dynamic internal and external vibration. External interactive behaviours, including the native features and walk-around functions of 2024. Which, to be fair, having these native functions in 24 with a fighter is a really cool experience. It is fully 24 native, of course, in this regard. We can toggle and reset engine failures. Weapon simulation, which is only on the version you can buy from their website. Not available on the marketplace version. And without further ado, let's take a look. There is a paint kit and a user manual in case you want those. So let's get on board and take a look at our Zero today. Now, as you can see, very high detail modelling and textures. And the weathering is extreme as well, rather. We've got all our bits and bobbles and wobbles and wibbles. I must say, I find it funny that all Zeros you tend to see are very, very weathered. Let's unlatch the canopy real quick there. Trying to remember where I have to grab this to actually open it. There we go. That's twice on there. We'll not get in just yet. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Take off our pitot cover there. Let's pull the chocks out. And they've got stored over there. Now the prop you can turn it, but of course it's going to have this very stop-starty motion as the pistons basically get cycle around. So it's not like it's missing animations. They are kind of stop-start jerk when you pull them. The only thing I will complain is that the weathering on the actual prop does look a little low resolution compared to the other detail there, because this is quite smooth, whereas the rest of it's quite sharp. Maybe a bit on the wing leading edge. But I can forgive it. It looks pretty good overall. So right, let's hop on board, shall we? And we are today at Romeo Oscar Romeo Sierra Shimojishima here in Japan. We'll hop up onto the cockpit. And here it is. It's the cockpit of our Zero. And whilst we're on the ground testing, I'll just do something real quick for you here. Yeah, these do function. Pop our safety on. Trigger here on the throttle. Oh yeah. And you can bind that trigger to a button, by the way. And you can go blasting people. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Right, without further ado, let's get on board with what we've got here now. In terms of our options for Blackbird, we can display English labels, we can hide them. I'm going to keep those off for now. You know what, I'll put them on for our testing purposes so you can see what things are in the cockpit. We can hide a handheld radio, or we can display one. Obviously giving you capabilities to fly in modern simulation settings. So we have got our frequencies and radio functions there, which is useful to have it. I'll give it that. It's nice to actually feature that. We'll turn it off for now. Hiding smokes and heat blurs. Cockpit shakes and external shakes. We don't want those. Enforced servicing realism. Yep. And engine realism. Yep. Manual mixture default. Yes. So here's our starting. This is part of our normal start procedure to use the crank and engage clutch because ground crew would assist us. Or you can auto start. So we'll give you that there. I'm going to leave those on for now because I am a little bit noobish. Now we've got a wheel chocks removed. Belly tank is attached. We can remove that as well. Emergency pumps there. Aircraft exterior is clean. We can wash it. Same with many of the Blackbird aircraft you can get. Engine health is good condition. Load shows what we have on the aircraft. So we are looking good. We'll leave this on start for now. And we're going to go through our checklist. No. I clicked the wrong button. Well, it starts, as you can tell. Let's make sure everything is set as it needs to be here. Crank throttle. We'll go to our configure for startup. So flight controls free, clear, battery is on. Battery's on there. Now, not all of these will need to get turned on down here. Generator will. We need to gear indicators on, so we've got our 3 green. You can see under there. Down here we also have formation lights, we have cockpit lighting, navigation lights, pitot heat and gun sights. But you know what, we'll put these on for now. We'll just go a quick little bit of nighttime. Check her out. Well, it turns out quite, if I'm correct here, quite dark. Oh no. We have a little bit of light down there. So you can see some bits and pieces, and we have illumination on our instruments. So, not a ton, but realistic for a combat aircraft. Okay. Turn those off there. Okay, so next items are electrical switches required. Flap handles to neutral is in neutral position there. Landing gear is good. Fuel gauges are checked. Let's see these two. Fuel tanks to there. Okay, engine start will be magneto switch to both, which is right here. Carb air controls to off. Oil shutter is closed. We whizzle that around there. We'll pop the cowl flaps open a little bit here. Up on the cowling, of all places where you'd find it. And what's cool is you actually get your chosen flight sim character in there, which is cool. Would be nice to have a historical pilot option too, but I'll take it. Prop governor to high, which it is. The throttle is cracked. Manual fuel pump down there. And we're looking for 0.3 up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, toggle crank on, sorry. Let it crank up. Boom. Oh, on the brakes. Parking brake in this? Don't think so. Engine warm up. So, we're looking for 1,000 RPM. Got our oil temperature pressures coming up in the aircraft here. Let those worm themselves up. We'll get rid of this for now. See down here, our instruments are getting warmed up. That's our tack. We're a little bit high on the RPM right now, so we'll let that drop down. Okay. Oil temp is coming up. Looking 45. It's about 30 right now, so it's still cool. Oil pressure. Could we not, please? Baggage. I was holding my brakes. Could you stay still? Thank you. VAT. There we go. We'll just squidge backwards a touch, so I don't run into any tugs. Oil pressure's 5 kilos per centimetre squared. I'm looking for. Oh, that's why I got shoved out of the way, because a 747 spawned into me. As you do. Pressure's good. Temperature's still on the lower side. Unless this was open and I need to close it. I think that's now closed. Yep, here comes the temperature coming right up. I had that open, so it's actually working, which is nice. CHT's looking good. Looking good, 150. We're at 45 on that. We are sorted and ready to rock. Right, let's get turned around, shall we? Seeing as this wants to be a pain and give us a nose job from a 737. So engine run-up chocks are out. Yes, they're good there. We don't have to worry about all these various features. These are good. We can do that if we're doing it properly, but we don't need to do that for a quick test flight. Let's not run over everyone's baggage with a zero because it decided to spawn this on top of us. Do love that. Okay. And our tail wheel locks down there. We should be good. Right, let's taxi out to the runway and get ourselves going for a quick test jaunt around Tsushima. Sounds are rather lovely, I will say. Let's put the brakes on and we'll give it a quick run up here. Ooh, that is meaty. I can smoke too. Ooh, love it. Right. I also love the exhaust coming over the wings here from the engine, which is why you're getting so much wear and tear on that leading side of the wing there. All that exhaust passing over the the surface will wear down the paint. Okay. Keep ourselves in a general direction of the end of the taxiway here. Why am I zigzagging? That's probably one of the best ways to see where you're going in a tail dragger. Is to probably go fast, but you can actually get a good view forwards. There's our turning. What we'll do is we'll do a regular touch and go landing, then we'll come back in and do a belly landing and see how that looks for our finale. Okay. We're ready to go. Enter runway here. Check everything is where it needs to be. Instruments all look green. What we want. Let's fly a zero, shall we? Should have tail wheel lock on, but I don't. That's my feet running away with the pedals there. Woo. The sound drop on the exterior is a little bit more dramatic than I might have expected. A reasonable drop in the cockpit there. I wonder what this is like with the engine running. I can't quite reach the... Pull this back so I can actually reach the... It actually shakes the whole aircraft when you do that. That's kind of wild. I wonder what happens when they hit the ground. We'll roll over and test real quick. I should have bound this to something before the testing. Nothing really, but oh well, not the end of the world. Not that I expected to actually do something. So yeah, the Zero can go very fast or it can be flown well. She's not really an aircraft that can do both. So you want maneuverability, you are going to have to slow down. And if you want speed, you're going to sacrifice maneuverability. Let's build some speed here. One of the things she was famous for was the ability to climb. So since we build a little bit of speed here, we're going to do just that. Compared to the American F4s, she could really climb. And she would stall out later than they would. So the F4s would climb after the Zeros, and the F4s would stall. The Zero would kick over and go after the F4s as they stalled out below them. And a little bit of... Oh, I need to have that bound to something. That would be fantastic. Woo! This is not Beggars Canyon. Oh, and I see what they mean. This is stiff at higher speeds. We're going fast now, but she is very stiff to control. This is not a quick maneuverable little airplane that can do both. It feels very stiff at higher speed. Oopsie daisy. Oh, she didn't want to go over the top either fully. She's trying. Just not that well. Right, we'll join the circuit here. We'll come around, touch and go. And then we'll come back in and we'll do a belly landing. See what she does with the prop and gear effects. Okay, let's crack the canopy open, shall we? Get some of that lovely noise going on again. The open cockpit noises in this really do feel fantastic, and it sounds raw and dirty, which is right for a big radial warplane. Slow it down, shall we? Gears down. Let's bring her around here. She's very placid now at low speed. We'll trim there on the elevator. Control the nose. I must say this is rather enjoyable to fly. I'd put this up right now. With the fact it has got engine simulation and it has got good depth of function, good depth of actual behaviour of the aircraft, replication of the weapon systems, drop tanks, and great visuals. I'd say this is up there with the Flying Lion aircraft in the sim. Now, I'm biased, I love their Spitfire, but their 109, 190 and Spit are all fantastic World War II aircraft for 2020, and they do work in 24. They're working on native versions, of course. So, I must say, I would put the Blackbird Zero, from my first impressions, up there with Flying Iron's aircraft. Which is to say, if you like your World War II aircraft, this is well worth getting. This is up there with Gottfried's F6. So you can fly those together. Ooh, a little bit bumpy. There we go. Gear coming up. Those indicators are hard to see down there on the side. One quick loop-de-loop around and we'll come back in for our belly landing. In fact, we'll just come back the opposite way. The winds are calm right now, so it shouldn't be a big deal. So we'll do a quick keyhole here. And we'll land on the grass. Why not? No, we'll use the runway. So our gear is up. Our flaps are retracted. And we'll leave the engine on. Right, it is Japanese, so let's put it sideways, shall we? A little bit of sideways flying. You've got to fly sideways in Japan. Just picture the music coming on and the effects on the screen. We'll be just fine. There we go. Oh, hello. Don't kick the rudder that hard when you're this low and slow. It does not like it. Alright, let's bring her in, shall we? The War Thunder landing. The Pro War Thunder Air RB landings. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Okay. We went for a bit of a journey. But I like the fact our props all busted up. That's nice. And well, she skidded, she splattered, and she boinged. I think the boinging was more me than them, but I'll take that for a decent crash landing. And just to kind of add to the immersion of the fact there, we will hop out of the plane while it's down here on the ground. Hey! You know what? I rather like this. I was never a huge fan of the Zero, but this is actually a fun version I can definitely get behind flying. It has good realism options, it has simplicity options if you want that. You can have it auto start, skip all the complexities, and you can enjoy a pretty fun replication of an iconic warbird. So like I said, well worth a crack, and if you're into it, give it a try. I think this would be definitely an option. Now, compared to Aeroplane Heaven, as we said we'd do at the end of the video, no contest. Sounds, modelling, texturing, systems, basically everything is better. So if you want a Zero, this is the one to get. If you want a fun warbird in 2024 native, also the one to get. Right until Flying Iron's Mark 9 Spitfire comes back to 24 native, at which point you'll never see me again for quite some time. But no, to Blackbird Simulations, fantastic aircraft, and I will just state, I was sent a review copy of this aircraft. I have been pretty positive, but I do believe it deserves it in this instance, and I think you'll agree. So thank you to Blackbird for sending me a copy, and otherwise, I will see you all soon. Bye!